what we're doing here, and the reason why this is effective is because you get to isolate that bicep, right? So I'm gonna get a small weight here, show you guys what I'm talking about. So like as you're leaning here, right? There's nothing really, your arms are hanging, right? There's nothing to
Yeah.
this, right? It's just just right on that fulcrum, right? Right on that pivot
Yeah.
point. Boom. Simple bicep
Oh,
exercise. Nothing, there's no, you trying to rock your body to get the weight up. It's
yeah.
just straight up arm work. Boom, right? Nothing
Right.
to it. So you lean back. You can't really cheat with this, man. And then you get in that
Yeah.
full range of motion all the way down to where your elbows extend out. You see that? So
Uh-huh.
simple as that. Just coming up with it. That's
What
simple.
about that? What about that preacher curl? I mean, that preacher. The
Oh
prayer. What
yeah.
is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
could do
waiter, the
that.
waiter
I can
curl. Okay,
the
yeah,
waiter
you could
curl.
do the
I can
waiter.
do that while I'm
Yes,
standing. Yeah.
definitely that. So let me get a weight here. Show the fam.
I'm gonna
All
use.
right. So
I'm gonna use the kettle.
cool. You're gonna hold yeah, you're gonna hold it. If you use the kettle, yeah, you can get away with that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you wanna
Uh-huh.
hold it like a platter, two hands up on her. And then, again, you don't wanna swing this into your jewels, man. You wanna keep it here and bring it up. And when you use heavy weight on this, man, it really works.
Yeah, you need to be alright. I'm using a 30 pound. I don't feel like walking across the gym.
I
Um,
hear you.
but this is gonna get the job done. If you do a
Yeah.
lighter weight, do higher rep. But think of it's waiter because it's like, yeah, sir, yeah, ma'am, would you
Yep.
like some more? Yeah, I'll take some
Yeah.
more. I like this exercise. What we doing for the triceps? Oh man.
Triceps. Triceps, we're gonna do a tricep push-up.
Oh,
Like
tricep push up.
like what I was just
The
doing.
diamond,
All right, so
the
diamonds,
diamond joint. Yeah.
boom, put them together. Where we at? There we go. Up,
There you go.
boom. And legs, kind of shoulder width apart or even further, right? You can cheat a little bit on this exercise as far as the legs, because this is a tough exercise to stabilize if you're starting off. And then you're just coming
Yeah.
down. And you see how my elbows flare?
Yeah.
Let me give myself some room here. All right, so my elbows flare out to be able to use those triceps. Boom, you see that? And I'm
Yeah.
touching my hands.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw the hole? You saw the hole?
Uh,
Yes. I'm touching the. Yo, what Sean called me, a cyborg? Yeah.
so, and all of our guests, all our super set guests, we have a name for you. What did our last guest? Spec. She was like, yeah, he always comes with the extraordinary. She almost put the
Yeah,
extra, but
yeah.
she put extraordinary workout today.
Wow, wow.
The
That's messed up.
extraordinary workout today. Nah, that's not messed up. That's
It was
good.
adobo. It was adobo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Saffron. The saffron.
Yes,
You always gotta put the safrito on it.
yeah, that's the next.
All right,
So that's the next circuit. Yeah, good
cool.
mixture of calisthenics and
All
weights.
right. So one other question I wanted to pose to you, man, is like, okay, so mothers they take in the seed, they nourish the seed, they grow it
Oh, full.
into a full human being, and then they produce a baby, right? After they produce a baby, they hold it close and near and dear to their bosom.
Yep.
They feed it from their own breast, right? You know, mama's baby, right? So when it comes to unconditional love, it seems like obvious that a mother can have unconditional love for their child as it grows up. They can remember, pushing this baby out, or they can remember like hearing it, feeling its heartbeat inside of them, and all of this, connectedness. A dad, he shoots off. He puts out, right? And while she's holding the baby, he's like off working or whatever he's doing, right? And a lot of times it's easier for a dad to walk away. Not all the time, but a lot of times it's easier for a dad to walk away from a child because they don't feel that same connectedness. Um, Now, when it comes to unconditional love, do you think that? Do you think that? I'm just gonna say it in terms of fathers. Do you think that fathers have true unconditional love for their kids?
I don't think anybody has unconditional. I don't think that's
You don't think
what they would
you don't
call
think it exists?
Christ-like. You understand? I don't think that exists. No, I think once you get to, all right. So look, man, I listened to this guy, this like metaphysics thing, and basically, he talks about our journey in life, and pretty much like Christ being that example, okay? Not necessarily being the
Right.
Messiah, but being the example, for all of us, right? And
Yeah.
Christ had, or I mean, it's debatable, but Christ had unconditional love, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where we all want to be, but I don't think it exists. I don't think it actually naturally exists. I don't think as human beings we have that in us. I think everything has conditions. Everything.
Mm.
The fact that how we love and how we look at women and how we fall in love with women, how is that not conditional? You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
This woman has the right. This woman has the right body type. She has the right mind. She has this. She has that. That's conditions, brother. Right? There's no such thing as unconditional love. I'm sorry. So man, woman, whatever you want to swing it, that doesn't exist. I mean, can you imagine like the worst thing your family could do to you? You think you come back from that and be like, yo, I'm gonna break bread with you the next on Sunday. Like, no,
Right.
it doesn't happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like people like wars have been fought, you know what I'm saying, for petty differences. You understand what I'm saying? And so like
Right.
unconditional love does not exist. You understand what I'm saying? It just doesn't. I mean, I'm looking at it from a broad perspective, a broad spectrum, not just family life, but like, no, it doesn't
Yeah.
exist. That's not. Everything has conditions. That's life. I wish it didn't. Or again, but that is the real journey, right? To actually find that, to be able to find that, to find what that means, to find what that feels like, yo. I
Right.
think that's the ultimate goal. Giving life meaning, right? Is being able to find that place in your heart and your being to be able to love everything the same way. That's crazy. That's a crazy thought,
Yeah.
man.
That's a crazy
You know?
thought. I think our children expect unconditional love. I think they're entitled to the sense where they expect unconditional love. And you
Hmm.
know what comes to mind when it comes to unconditionally loving your kid? Samuel L. Jackson.
Hmm.
Samuel L. Jackson comes to mind. And that's because in Mo Better Blues, I think it was, he was like, Mama, you want me to do that dance, Mama? Look. Do you remember that scene? I think it was Mo
Yo,
Better Blues. Samuel L. Jackson was a crackhead. And Ossie Davis and his wife,
oh, you
they
talking about
played
Jungle Fever? Was it
Jungle
Jungle Fever?
Fever. I think it might have been Jungle Fever. And he was a crackhead. He used to come home, a grown ass man, but he would come home all cracked out and try to get money from his parents. And they would let him in. And the dad would always be like, don't let him in. Why are you letting him in? And the dad was always trying to cut him off, but the mom just couldn't.
Yep.
She couldn't cut
Yep.
him off. He would
Yep.
come in and he would do the dance and say, you know you want to see me dance, mama. You know
Yep.
you want to see me dance. That's not
Yep. Yep.
Yo, if y'all have workout buddies, if you haven't seen Jungle Fever, I think that's a movie. If you haven't seen that, you gotta go watch
It is.
that.
It is.
Just
It
for that
is.
scene.
It is
Yeah,
Jungle Fever.
go watch that. But that's what plays in my mind because I think it's conditional too. You know what I mean? Like if you have a kid who is just constantly like just just draining your life, like what are you to do?
So, yeah.
What are you to
Yeah.
do? Especially if they're grown up, it's like eventually you have to cut them off. Do you stop loving them though? You may love them, you may still love them, right?
And I guess that's the unconditional part of it, right?
Right,
Um,
right, right, right,
not sure, right, what they really mean, and then if you're gonna spin it like that, not sure what that means. I get it. Like you have to love first, and then I guess it becomes unconditional at some point, maybe. Right? But like it starts conditionally and then becomes that, especially like with children. Not sure, but
right,
they, not like I said, you just think of the foulest shit that they could possibly do to you. Then think about your emotion
right,
and how you would react to that. Like like I
right.
said, you're gonna invite them. You're gonna invite them over for Sunday brunch. Like it's gonna be that real.
Nah,
Like it's that. Is that
nah,
Do you cut them
nah. They
off?
gotta go. Yeah, you gotta
You know
cut
what I
them
mean?
off.
Like exactly like for life, right? Like like I said. So you got to think about the foulest thing. Like this unconditional. And what that means. Think about what that means.
Yeah, the
Unconditional. There's
foul.
nothing.
Is like the foulest thing that they
Everything
could do.
is everything's fair game, right? Unconditional.
Right,
Nothing is worse than
right,
the next. There's no greater sin than the next. Everything's cool. And even in the Bible, it states that blasphemy is like one of the biggest, like the greatest sin that you can't recover from. So what the fuck do we mean? What does unconditional mean? Come on,
yeah.
man.
I feel you on that.
You missed me
Yeah,
with that shit.
yeah. Got to be some conditions, right? Like you can't just be treating me any kind of way you want just because you're my kid. You facts
Right.
about that.
So
Man, I feel like we got a good workout, man. I just wanted to ask you one more question or pose one more question before we get out of here. Also, consider a PE if you have one. What would you say is like your ultimate goal? What's your ultimate goal with being a father?
I want my kids to be better than I was triple fold.
Yeah,
I want them to be independent. I want them to have happy lives, like happy lives. I don't, not dependent on, whatever job they pick, or it's not, yeah, it's not dependent on their job occupation or, their physical life. I just want them to be, no kidding, happy with themselves and, happy with their skin, happy with who they are and what they've become.
yeah,
That's the most important thing for me, man. Because yeah, all the rest of that, man, the material things and all that other stuff, man. Like I was, thinking to myself yesterday, man. After a big win, you start looking at the next step. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You start
yeah.
looking at the next step. Nothing's ever just good enough. You know what I mean? So like that happiness, that journey starts from within. You know what I mean? Or it starts and ends within. You know what I mean? So nothing external will make you happy. So I think that just being genuinely
Mm,
happy with themselves is the greatest goal that you can, like I said, you could
yeah,
they could accomplish, man. Because I'm still finding that, right?
yeah.
You
Chill,
still, like I
chill. Trying
said,
to find it. Yeah,
when you're feeling down, you still got retail therapy, you still got those little pick me ups. You know what I mean? Like, but you just
yeah.
can't make yourself happy, right?
Right,
I'm
right.
trying to
That's
find that.
true.
I'm trying to find that.
Yeah.
You know.
I would agree with you on that, man. That's one of my ultimate goals is for my kids to have um, like fruitful, functional, successful lives. Not for them to be successful in the sense that they necessarily make a whole lot of money. Of course, I want them to be well to do, or I want them to be able to take care of themselves and their families and build wealth. But my ultimate goal for fatherhood is legacy. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's like when I die, it's like I want my kids to. I don't want them to have to force good memories into
So
their mind. Yeah, I don't want
right,
them to.
right, right,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
What was good about him? Yeah, he was
right.
he was an asshole, but I want them to just be like, or like I want
Wow.
my if I never meet my grandkids, if I die before I get a chance to meet my grandkids, I want them to be like, yo, have tons of stories to tell my grandkids, about me, like where my grandkids feel like they know me because of the legacy that I left through my children.
Well,
You know,
well,
that would
I
be
can reassure you, Jay. I can reassure you, you're not gonna have a problem with that. You know, you all right.
appreciate that. Yeah,
You got
yeah,
you got that locked up.
yeah, yeah, I
And
appreciate
yeah,
that, man.
and you know what, man? As you say that, another goal comes into mind is just having them to be able to come to you with damn near anything, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and then being able to just look back on that as like kind of how I look at my relationship with my parents at this point, as an older man, like, yo, like they get it, they get me, we can talk like real human beings together and break bread and actually share our emotions and be real with each other. And I think that's the biggest thing, there's nothing that inhibits that. There's nothing in the way of actually, us letting each other know how we feel about each other and how we feel about life, whatever have you, and just talk, just unbridled. And that's what I appreciate the most, and that's what that's another one of those goals. And that's actually starting to happen, more than ever. You know how it is, man. Kids play their cards close to the vest. They don't like to really divulge too much to you. And I think we're starting to open up those channels, man, those doors, and that's another big goal for me, man, as well.
Dave.
Oh
So
man.
Dave, what you got a PE for today?
All right, man. I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with with the topic, man. We're gonna go with paternal excellence, man.
That's that.
That's what
Boom. Paternal
that's
excellence.
that's what we're exhibiting every day, man.
Yeah.
And remember what remember the saying, man. Any progress towards your goal is success, man. So don't
Yeah.
get caught up,
Yeah.
man. If you're stagnant, don't get caught up, man. Like I said, you're making progress, man. Just keep your head up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And you know what? I got a PE also. I'm gonna say push emotion. Push
All right,
emotion. All right. Yeah.
all right.
So that I think that goes hand in hand with what we were talking about with fatherhood. I want to challenge our workout buddies today. Embrace all of your emotions. And reevaluate whether you just have those two that we discussed. The happy and the anger.
Yeah,
So push emotions, man. Yo, happy birthday, bro. Happy
my
birthday, man.
man.
I'm so
I'm gonna
so glad
enjoy it.
you were born, bro. So glad you were
My man,
born.
I
Uh,
appreciate you,
and
man.
all so
I do.
all our workout buddies, happy Father's Day to y'all. You've been in PE with Dave and Jay, where we build while we build. Yeah.
I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100.